Hi guys, welcome to the Honest Perfume Reviewer and to my kitchen. I'm just going to review one single fragrance for you today. It is the very much hyped, very expensive Amber Aquilaria from Electimuss. The bottle looks similar to this. This is Vixere from the same house. I love this fragrance. However, I might let it go because I find it very similar to Opera from Xerjoff, and I find that the performance a little bit better than this. This kind of stays closer to the skin. It's not bad performance. Anyway, Amber Aquilaria is kind of like one of their most expensive fragrances. Within this house, there's like a price range. I think they start like at $175 and go up all the way to maybe close to $500. And this particular one that I'm going to talk about now, Amber Aquilaria, is like one of the most expensive ones. And I've been kind of listening to lots of reviewers talk about it, and it seems like most of the ones that I've heard talk about it have actually been given their bottle, and that always gives me a little bit of a like, okay, I'm listening kind of with half an ear, like I don't trust these people completely. But it's also described as for the person with an acquired perfume taste. So maybe not like, people on the street might not like this, but I think I'm with people on the street with this one. I don't get this one yet, perhaps. I don't know. I don't like it yet. Okay, so it has like a citrus in the opening. It opens up like with rose and citrus, which I think, and then there's a skankiness going on. And I think that like these animalic notes are like oud and ambergris, but they kind of like, they come off in like in a not so nice way to my nose, because I don't really feel the oud in here. To me, it doesn't really have, like when oud is really, really good, that I don't get that in this fragrance. And then I get like this, like a bowl of overripe fruit. There might be plums in there. There might be apples that have been laying around. And I think this is coming from the cognac note. So it's like supposed to be boozy, but to me, it's just kind of like fruity in the wrong kind of way. And then there's something a little bit cold to my nose, like it has... that's kind of like, it smells a little bit like turpentine or paint or like some chemical, kind of like, the way like gasoline sometimes can smell kind of like pleasant, but you're not really supposed to like it, but it smells good. It has kind of something like that going on in here. I'm not sure what that's coming from, but it's that part I like the best actually. But then there's this like citrus and rose together. To me, that combination doesn't always work on me. It goes like really sour on my skin. So there's something kind of like sour and something also with this overripe fruit. And I don't get ambergris. Like I love ambergris in fragrance, that when it gives this kind of like this extra dimension, or I don't get it. Like the saltiness, I don't get that kind of. I usually, like, to my nose, it kind of picks up on ambergris the way, like, the fifth, sometimes it's described as the fifth taste is called umami, like instead of like sweet, sour, bitter, etc. There's this one fifth kind of taste category, and umami is kind of like it's in Parmesan, it's in meat, it's in mushrooms. There are lots of things that kind of like, and seafood have this kind of like, to give it this roundness. It has kind of a super satisfying quality to it, but I don't get that here. Someone was actually generous enough to give me these 3 milliliters. So I gotten to, and I've used like almost 2, I think, out of this, because I've really wanted to like it. I've really wanted to understand it. I've worn it like several times, although I really didn't feel like reaching for it the second time. I should have just trusted my nose on the first go, but I wanted to give you guys like an honest review. Maybe I'll save someone $500 by this video, and then my mission is completed. I mean, for sure, buy a sample, but like even the samples of this are really expensive. So see if you can sniff it at a friend's house instead. I'm going to pass this on to someone so that person doesn't have to go out and blind buy. But the overall, the opening I think is really horrible. I'm overdoing it now. Sorry. It's not horrible. It's just not that great. But the dry down is a little bit better. But some people were talking about like this as being like super high performance, like a beast mode, a 12-hour fragrance. And I find that, or fortunately it is not. It does not perform for 12 hours. It kind of disappears on me after a while. And it doesn't have that boozy quality that you would think, like of a fragrance where it says cognac, like cognac, oud, ambergris. It sounds really great. And then there's that rose. Maybe it's the rose that is the problem here to me. I'm not sure, because sometimes like rose, I figure like dried rose petals, like in a little bowl, like at your grandma's house, and you smell it and it has that kind of sourness to it. I don't know. To me, this doesn't do it for me. I'm glad I'm getting rid of it. I'm going to send it on to someone that wants it and is curious about it. So yeah. Oh, by the way, those are my a little tiny selection of my cookbooks there in the background. I used to be really, really hooked on cooking. I used to run my own, grocery. I sold ready planned groceries with the recipes to go with them. So I was like, I spent all my time the way I do now with perfume. I was like cooking, learning about cooking, shopping for special ingredients, reading cookbooks. I mean, I brought cookbooks to bed and read cookbooks. So now they're just kind of there for decoration because I don't really use them that often. I do bring them out sometimes when I actually want to cook something, but I never just read them for fun. I'm on for Grantica instead, or I'm, busy sniffing or comparing, or so I do have this tendency, like this hyper-focused tendency, like I really get into stuff, and then it's kind of like all one thing. I start losing. I'm kind of like a horse with these. What are they called? They can only see straight forward, and I miss things going on here because I'm so caught up in this fun thing that I'm doing. It was the same like when I learned how to salsa dance. I was just all into that. Every minute I spent trying to learn more, listening to salsa music, going out as much as I could. So I do have this kind of like kind of quality. I don't know. It's both a blessing because it makes things really fun. It gives me a lot of energy, but it's also kind of a problem because it kind of takes over a little bit. But anyway, just want to let you guys know about Amber Aquilaria. I'm really curious about this house in general, though, except I do think that the packaging is really beautiful, but I think that the bottles are ridiculously heavy. I mean, this one weighs 650 grams. It's so heavy, and I mean, I couldn't bring this anywhere. It's just like I think they put too much effort into the presentation, and I don't know. I mean, the juices are supposed to be pretty good, but this is really the only one. And I have actually tried the one called Cashmere or something. I think it's called Mercurial Cashmere, but it's pretty similar to this one, so I definitely don't need that one. I'm curious about Imperial. That's supposed to be really good. But Amber Aquilaria, no, I would save my money and go buy something else. Okay, that was it for today, guys.